startling trade proposition for Packers in post-NFL free agency mock drafts. Following the initial flurry of NFL free agency activity, let's examine a fresh set of simulated drafts. Who did the Packers select with the 25th pick? Green Bay, Wisconsin. In the 2020 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers had the chance to bolster their roster, fresh off an NFC Championship game appearance, by adding receiver T. Higgins. However, instead of opting for Higgins, General Manager Brian Gutekunst chose Jordan Love. Could there be a chance for Higgins to join forces with Love now? This scenario was proposed in a new NFL mock draft by Fox Sports' Joel Klatt, the network's foremost college football analyst. With Higgins reportedly seeking a trade, Klatt suggested that if the Cincinnati Bengals were willing to facilitate it, pairing Higgins with Jordan Love and the youthful Packers squad could prove beneficial. Nevertheless, Klatt emphasized that he was merely planting the seed, and projected the Packers to pick Clemson cornerback Nate Wiggins. Standing at 6'1" 3/8" and weighing a slender 173 pounds, Wiggins emerged as the fastest cornerback at the scouting combine, clocking in at 4.28 seconds in the 40-yard dash. Over his final 2 collegiate seasons, Wiggins amassed 2 interceptions, deflected 19 passes, and forced 2 fumbles. Wiggins was chosen over other cornerback prospects, namely Iowa's Cooper DeJean and Alabama's Kool-Aid McKinstry. By the time Green Bay was on the clock, 7 offensive linemen had already been selected. Pro Football Focus, 3 rounds Minnesota's Tyler Nubin. If Pro Football Focus Trevor Sakima were calling the shots, new Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley would witness an infusion of youthful talent. In Sakima's 3-round mock draft, the first 4 picks were allocated to Minnesota safety Tyler Nubin, NC State linebacker Peyton Wilson, Oregon defensive lineman Brandon Dorlus, and Washington defensive tackle Braden Trice. Notably, the first 2 selections, Nubin and Wilson, would address significant positional needs. Although the Packers secured the services of Xavier McKinney, a top-tier safety in free agency, their current depth chart leaves much to be desired, with 2023 7th-rounder Anthony Johnson currently penciled in as the other starter. Like McKinney, Nubin boasts versatility, capable of playing deep, in the box, or in the slot. Additionally, as the Packers transition to Hafley's 4-3 defensive scheme, the absence of a third linebacker is glaring. This gap would be filled by Wilson, an exceptionally fast and productive playmaker. In his senior season in 2023, Wilson amassed 138 tackles, including 6 sacks and 17.5 tackles for loss, along with 3 interceptions, 6 passes defensed, and a forced fumble. Pairing Wilson with Quay Walker would provide ample coverage in nickel packages. The Packers' second pick in the 3rd round addressed their dire need at offensive tackle. ESPN's Mel Kiper, UCLA edge Laiata Latu. Laiata Latu is arguably the premier pass rusher in this year's draft class. During his 2-year tenure at UCLA, Latu compiled 10.5 sacks, 12.5 tackles for loss, and 3 forced fumbles in 2022, followed by 13 sacks, 21.5 tackles for loss, 2 interceptions, and 2 forced fumbles in 2023. However, one significant question looms. NFL.com's Daniel Jeremiah, Georgia OT Amarius Mims. Similar uncertainty surrounds Amarius Mims, the towering and agile right tackle who started 8 games in his collegiate career. Despite his limited playing time, Mims showcased his prowess whenever he took the field, conceding 0 sacks throughout his college tenure and allowing just 1 pressure in 2023. Standing at approximately 6'8" and weighing 340 pounds, Mims defies the stereotype of a sluggish lineman, clocking a respectable 40-yard dash time of 5.07 seconds. Although the Packers typically favor agile blockers over massive ones, Mims combines size with agility, making him a compelling prospect. The Draft Network, 2 rounds Oklahoma OT Tyler Guyton. Described by Ryan Fowler as a special athlete, Tyler Guyton possesses the skills necessary to potentially succeed David Bakhtiari at left tackle. During his tenure at Oklahoma, Guyton predominantly lined up at right tackle, yielding 0 sacks and just 12 total pressures across 10 games in 2023. He was the 7th offensive tackle chosen in the first round. The Packers' second-round selections targeted a diminutive slot cornerback and a highly touted linebacker slated for a pre-draft visit with the team. 33rd team, Duke OL Graham Barton. Marcus Mosher characterized Graham Barton as perhaps the most versatile lineman in the draft, akin to Zach Tom during his time at Wake Forest. Excelling at both center and left tackle, Barton would provide immediate reinforcement to Green Bay's interior offensive line, which currently features Elgton Jenkins, Josh Myers, and Sean Ryan as starters, with only Royce Newman providing depth. Myers is set to become a free agent after the upcoming season. Barton's selection came ahead of 3 offensive tackle prospects, including Oklahoma's Tyler Guyton. Pro Football Network, Alabama CB Kool-Aid McKinstry. Derek Tate acknowledged the compelling case for selecting an offensive lineman with this pick but ultimately opted for McKinstry to complement Jaire Alexander. In this simulation, 7 offensive tackles were off the board before the Packers' turn, including Mims, who was selected by Dallas at number 24. Additionally, 4 cornerbacks had been chosen, leaving Wiggins and Iowa's Cooper DeJean among those already drafted. Draft Countdown, 3 rounds Oregon State OT Taylis Fuaga. Described by Brian Bosarge as a nasty blocker, Taylis Fuaga could potentially serve as the long-term solution at left tackle. Over 2 seasons as the starting right tackle, Fuaga did not concede a single sack, according to Pro Football Focus. Possessing the requisite size and athleticism, with an impressive relative athletic score of 9.61, Fuaga stands out, despite having arms measuring 33 1/8 inches. Bosarge further bolstered the Packers' defensive front with the selection of Texas defensive tackle Tvondres Sweat at the 41st overall pick. The team's second-round pick was utilized on Missouri cornerback Chris Abrams-Draine, followed by a defensive tackle and a wide receiver in the 3rd round.